in studio we have wood, and we also have ones that are made out of hydrocal. And the big difference between them, the hydrocal is actually going to suck the moisture out of your clay. So if you grab a hydrocal board, and they're really easy to identify because they all sort of have a tape border. But if I were to put clay on here and leave it for 30 minutes maybe, it's going to be significantly drier on the bottom than if I were to leave it over here. So if I want my clay piece to dry slowly, make sure it's a wooden board and not a plaster board. However, if you want to progress the drying, if you're ready for it to dry, that plaster board is great. Big sponges. We love big sponges, and these are going to come in big handy when we start throwing, and everything is going to make more sense the more we get into it. I definitely recommend getting a bucket or a container, something to hold all your stuff, whether it's like a little tool cup or just something like a box, even like a shoe box would be okay. Just something to keep all your stuff together. I also recommend getting some of these really thin plastic drop cloths. This is for wrapping your work to keep it from drying. Like say you only want to work a couple hours on it, but if you were to leave it just out as it is, it'd dry. So you're going to grab some of this plastic drop cloth. These are really cheap. Once again, dollar store. You can get a bunch of it and it'll last you a long time. You can just keep reusing it, and you just would wrap your work when you're not working on it. So that way it stays nice and moist, or at least to the moisture that you want it to be. This is just a personal preference, and I think it would help, especially if you are working from home. I have these like 5-gallon tote bins. Once again, we love the dollar store. They were like $4. They've got lids. What you can do is put your clay, your unused clay, inside one of these. Put a little plastic over, pop the lid. It's going to stay super fresh. You don't have to worry about it drying out too fast before you can get a chance to use it. I know I'm moving fast. Do we have any questions so far? No, everybody good? All right, so we went over that. A few of the things I did not have on me when I did my little demo is 2 small plastic containers, and these can just be Tupperwares. These are for taking home colored slips to use to decorate your work. You can just pop in real quick in the middle of the night, even if you want to, and get a little spoonful of everything, so that way you don't have to be here to work, but you can still do all the painting you want. For this class, you will need 2 bags of earthenware clay, Longhorn Red. That's going to be our sculpture clay for the most part. We're going to get another bag of clay called B-Mix, and that is going to be specifically for throwing. And we'll talk about the differences between those a little later. And just something to have for your own use, a towel and some newspaper, and you can get those. Just grab an old beach towel, like the rattiest one you have. And some of those advertisements that you get every week from grocery stores would be perfect. And that's just so when you're working, you can sort of like either keep your lap clean or keep your hands clean, because clean hands, surprisingly, it's easier to work with clay when you've got clean hands. You think, oh, it's dirt, but clean hands are key. All right,
sorry. I have a question. I'm so sorry. So I noticed that you said, all right, you had like, what's it called? gloves on there? Like, is it easier to work with gloves or just your bare hands?
I would say it's easier to work with your bare hands. The gloves are on there for glazing purposes because
Okay, gotcha.
some of the glazes will dry out your hands while you're using them, and a few of them, which we probably won't end up using, are a little bit toxic to your skin. So just when we use gloves, it's just to protect your hands when working
Okay,
with chemicals.
gotcha. Just making sure. I just didn't know. I was like, oh, okay. That works.
No worries, no worries. You probably won't need gloves till maybe project 3, if at all, because we're gonna do a poll later on when we get to project 4. I'm gonna mix us some brand new, fresh cone 5 glazes, and y'all are gonna help me pick the colors. So, yeah, we love custom. All right, so major course assignments and examinations. This is just basically what everything is worth. The bulk of your grade will be in projects. We have 5 projects. They're all fairly simple, so don't stress too much. We've got online participation, critique participation, sketches and research. So for after every introduction, and you'll see on the calendar once you pull it up, you're required to do like a little bit of research. And what we mean by research is just, what idea am I going to use? Why am I going to use this idea? What shape do I want? What kind of stencils or decoration am I going to go for? When we get into project 5, that'll become a little more in depth because that's going to be our big conceptual project. And for that one, we'll be like, why am I making this? Why do I need to make this? What's the reason? And basically sketches, mostly just thumbnails, just little doodles, little 4x4-inch doodles, and you can put them all on the same page and load them up. And it's basically a completion grade. So if you turn it in, you get an A. Accessibility, if you anticipate the need for reasonable accommodation, please let me know. I am happy to adjust or fix anything to make it easier for you to take this course. All right, academic integrity. Cheating is for fools. Don't be mean. I mean, it's probably a little more in depth than that, but I think that's the basic premise here. I don't see really too much of an opportunity for us to really face an opportunity for academic integrity becoming an issue. So just be good vibes only. Course attendance. If you can't come to a Zoom meeting, don't stress too much about it. Watch the replay, read your modules, watch the demo videos. Reach out to me if you have any trouble. I'm not going to be too strict on this because I know life sometimes gets you. So don't stress about that. All right, classroom etiquette. Once again, good vibes only. Just kidding, but not really. Like I said, I respond to emails pretty quickly. So if you have a question, please do not hesitate to reach out. I will be happy to answer anything. All right, personal chemical materials approved for campus use. So no bombs, no fire. These are all acceptable, but we probably won't use any of these. I don't really see a need for any of these except for maybe project 5, because on that one you have the option of either glazing or painting with acrylic paint. So that would be the only really I brought in this acrylic paint. Oh my gosh. All right, schedule. Now, if everybody by the end of today will try to open this up so I can make sure everybody gets approved. Here is the general schedule for the semester. It seems like a lot, and it felt like a lot while I was writing it, but it's really not very much at all. So don't let all the writing sort of overwhelm you. First class is going to be our Project 1 introduction letter and intro to the class. Like I said, Wednesdays are work days, so watch your demos, read your module, connect to outside resources, and come get your clay. Let's get to work. By Monday, I would like everybody to, Monday evening, I believe, or I think I might even have it on Wednesday, but by that time, I would like everybody to have 3 sketches of what shape they want their project to be, 3 patterns for their stencils on the outside, and a little small paragraph of why they chose their stencils or why they liked this shape. We're going to talk about the terms and techniques on the next class period. So we'll just take this a week at a time and work till we are happy with what we've got. Now, terms and techniques is going to be our only quiz. However, it is open book. So you can use whatever notes you take on the lecture. You'll have access to the PowerPoint, and we're going to do something called a Kahoot, which is sort of like a group quiz bowl thing. It's not mandatory, but if you participate in the Kahoot, you get 2 points. If you win the Kahoot, you get 5 points on your lowest grade. So participation, 2 points on your lowest grade. Winning the Kahoot gets you 5 points on your lowest grade. And then you would just take the quiz by Friday 2/12. We are going to try to, the first couple of projects, Project 1 and 2, are pretty simple. So we're going to try to move pretty quickly on those. Project 3 is a little more in depth. And I want that to be mostly to a finished point by spring break. The reason is when we get to Project 4, which is wheel throwing, I want you all to have as much practice time as you possibly can, because wheel throwing is fun, but it's not easy. And I want you to have enough freedom to get it wrong a couple times. So that way, when you get it right, it's really right and you're happy with it. And we're just going to be making bowls and mugs. We love artwork we can use. And like I said, Project 4, if you cannot do the wheel throwing project, don't stress. I've got an alternative Project 4, and I think that one's also pretty cool. So if you don't want to wheel throw, let me know. Introduction to Project 5. So Project 5 is our big boy project. That's the one where we really put our thinking hats on. And we're going to make a figurative sculpture about identity. So like I said, read over the modules, start forming your concepts, and we'll really get into what everything means as the weeks go on. Once things get fired, you are welcome to come pick them up when they get their final firing. Or if you leave them with me, I will be doing little photo shoots for everything. So that way you can have some nice pictures of your completed work to put in your portfolio. And taking pictures of ceramics is not the easiest thing, because you've got glaze and all this lighting you really have to get right. So if you want some nice pictures, leave them with me, or you can come pick them up and just take some photos on your own. And that applies to basically every project. And this is a really, really dense schedule, so we're just gonna sort of come back to it as things go on, as we continue through the class. All right, welcome to the lab. This is a dumb little YouTube video that I made to give y'all a tour of the facility. Watch it, laugh at me. I'm a little stupid, but it's cool. And it'll basically just show you where everything is. And I think that's basically all we've got here. And I think 3:21 is a really great time to take a break. Go to the bathroom, get some water. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes.